So now, as far as America or Canada, then many masjids that you go in, I don't know if I can say most, definitely not all, but many, maybe even most, women pray in a totally different room or building. Sometimes not just a partition or wall, but actual different what? Building, which is separate from the men above, below, and the list goes on. Tayyib. Now, first question is that permissible? Is that haram? Because we spoke on this before, I believe. The concept is the danger for a person to say that how the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba prayed with the women can't be done today in 2018. It can't be done. Because there's fitna, there's phones, there's fasad, there's widespread corruption, which there is, no doubt. The people's values have become totally degenerate, most, not all, most. Sexual perversion, sickness, free mixing, the list goes on. Tight. So when we start using our minds and saying it's not enough, we have to make extra, we have to make precaution, which sometimes that's true in Islam. But obviously that is a very slippery slope, because that opens up the doors for all other things that we have to do more or extra, or even less. That was in the Prophet's time in which they had to do this. Not now. It's different. It's different now. Everybody understand this? There's the United Nations. The Jews and the Christians are not like how they were in the past. It's different. We have nations. We have borders. We have security. We have world government. It's not the same. So therefore, it's not mandatory with the hadith that says to do this and to say this and don't reply. La. Or hijab. You don't have to wear the hijab anymore. Or traveling without a mahram. Growing your beard, and the list goes on of problems that you now open up once you take this mantiq, this reason of it's not enough, it's not good enough, we live in different times, it's dangerous. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear understand how dangerous that what? That is. Also, it can become extremely hypocritical when the people stick directly to the T, to many different textual evidences, which you're not saying is a bad thing. But then comes the other evidences, then they have interpretation of fiqh as deeper meaning, the ulama say, the people of knowledge say, the fuqaha say, yani kada kada kada. So if your understanding of jurisprudence is a blend, the text, the wisdoms, the hikmah, the fahm, that's one thing, la bas. But if you're promoting and pushing and imposing that it's just like this to the text, no, the text says that's it. And then another issue here, then that's going to be problematic, because it's going to form some contradiction now. Everybody understand this? So that shows us that the asal is the sunnah, the hadith, the outward apparent wordings, but it doesn't mean that they're bare from their wisdoms and the wisdoms of tashri', the reason, the wisdom, the purpose behind it. And it doesn't mean that it's bare from the understanding of the sahaba and the tabi'een and the early ulama. And the ulama to this day doesn't mean that. But we make a default. And we don't go against the default unless there's a specific reason. Everybody understand this? And also balance. Balance. Everybody understand this? And also when a person is extremely aggressive in one issue, extremely aggressive and imposing, and then another issue, that's problematic. Everybody understand that's extremely problematic. So it's a bid'ah to do this, to use the microphone. It's a bid'ah. You can't have this in the masjid, that in the masjid. The sadaqah box is a bid'ah. The camera is a bid'ah. This is wrong. That's haram. You can't have that. Play it. But the women are in a different building. Because of men's eyes and men's gazes, it's a fitna. Slow down, brother. You've just contradicted yourself. Everybody understand this? The Prophet, he raised money in the masjid. There was no need for a sadaqah box. Sahih, labas. And there's also no need for the women to be what? Secluded. Everybody, no, it's different. What's different? It's 2017. The men look at women, women look at men. Okay, type. Then also, let's put a what? Sadaqah box. Because everyone doesn't have the ability to get. It's a contradiction now. And there are many other examples. It's not just specific about sadaqah box. That's just an example that came to my head. So don't misunderstand me thinking that I'm talking about just that issue, or speaking about a scholar or the scholars who held that issue of our current time. Khairan, inshallah. Point proven or not. The Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba had to they prayed with one musalla. No matter how small the musalla was, they could have put a partition or a curtain, but they what? They did not. Everybody understand this? Tell you.